अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम EDUA403 के MCQs जो है वो स्टार्ट करने लगे हैं। मिड टर्म के हवाले से इंपॉर्टेंट MCQs हैं और इन्हें मैंने इसी अंदाज से बनाया है कि आपके शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स और MCQs दोनों में आपके बहुत काम आएंगे। ठीक है, तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। What is the primary purpose of art? The primary purpose of art is aesthetic and intellectual enjoyment. Visual arts include painting, drawing, sculpture, and architecture. Elements of art include line, shape, form, color, texture, space, value. ठीक है, सारे आर्ट के एलिमेंट थे हमने पढ़े हैं. Drawing is a two-dimensional visual using line and shading. Fine art is created primarily for aesthetic appreciation. Medium refers to material used to create artwork. A motif in art is a repeated unit in a visual pattern. Aesthetic appreciation means recognizing beauty and meaning in art. Principles of design include unity, variety, balance, contrast, rhythm, emphasis, and proportion. The intellectual purpose of art is to communicate ideas. Line in art can be straight, curved, zigzag, or implied. Shape is two-dimensional area defined by edges. Form refers to three-dimensional object with volume. Texture in art is surface quality of an artwork. Value refers to lightness or darkness of a color. Balance in art can be symmetrical or asymmetrical. Emphasis is used to highlight the most important area. Unity in art creates a cohesive whole. Proportion is about size relationships of objects. Scale compares objects to each other or real life. Unity ensures elements relate and form a whole. Variety introduces different shapes, colors, textures, or lines. Rhythm in art is repetition of elements to create movement. Type of rhythm include flowing, regular, progressive, and alternating. Movement in art is guides wearer's eye through artwork. Emphasis creates focal point. Harmony combines similar elements for visual satisfaction. Proportion ensures correct size relationships. Scale is used to compare objects. Pattern is decorative repetition of motifs. Motifs refers to a repeated design unit. Patterns can be two-dimensional or three-dimensional. Patterns can be functional or decorative. Lines, color, shapes, and textures can form patterns. Modular design in architecture uses repeated units. Pattern in art creates visual rhythm. Pattern attract attention and organize composition. Pattern can be applied in art, textiles, interior design. Repetition in patterns create movement. Contrast shows difference in color, value, texture, or line. Major contrast should be placed at focal point. High contrast is vibrant and noticeable. Low contrast is subtle. Contrast in tone refers to light and dark areas. Too much contrast can destroy unity. Contrasting colors often appear opposite on color wheel. Contrast draws attention to important elements. Contrast enhances visual interest. Contrast in direction can create visual movement. Harmony combines related elements logically. Unity is created through similarity, repetition, and alignment. Continuous guides the eye along lines and shapes. Proximity and alignment create relationships between elements. Closure allows the brain to complete incomplete forms. Unity makes artwork greater than the sum of its parts. Harmony contributes to visual satisfaction. Similarity in shapes, colors, textures enhances harmony. Repetition of elements reinforces unity. Well-placed emphasis supports unity. Variety adds interest through differences in shape, color, size, or texture. Unity and variety must be balanced. Color variety includes using multiple colors. Shape variety combines different geometrical and organic shapes. Size variety mixes small and large objects. Texture variety contrasts smooth and rough surfaces. Line variety includes straight, curved, zigzag lines. Too much unity can make art boring. Too much variety can make art messy. Effective design balances variety with unity. Proportion is size relationship between parts of artwork. Scale compares objects to teach other or real life. Golden ratio is a mathematical ratio for pleasing composition. Proper proportion creates realism and balance. Exaggerated scale can create emphasis or drama. Small elements can lead the eye to larger focal points. Proportion enhances visual harmony. Scale is relative to context and perception. Artists use grit to maintain accurate proportions. Correct proportion improves overall composition. Psychoanalytic theory divides mind into conscious, preconscious, and unconscious. Behaviorist theory focuses on observable behaviors. Classical conditioning associates neutral stimulus with a response. Operant conditioning uses reinforcement and punishment. Cognitive theory emphasizes mental process and active learning. Piaget theory focuses on stages of cognitive development. Vygotsky's theory emphasizes social interaction in learning. Gestalt theory emphasizes whole rather than parts. Law of pragmas states perceiving forms in the simplest way. Gestalt laws include similarity, proximity, closure, and continuity. Psychoanalytic theory in art helps understand student emotions. Behaviorist methods in class include reinforcement and structured learning. Cognitive learning transforms information into knowledge. Schemas help in categorizing, remembering, and problem solving. Cognitive theories highlight meaningful learning over rote learning. Drawing is a two-dimensional visual using line and shading. Common drawing materials include pencil, charcoal, chalk, pastels, ink. Medium refers to material used to apply color or mask. Paper is most common support for drawing. Quality of line is essential for clarity and expression. Edges and contours define shapes in drawing. Negative space improves composition. Correct relationships and proportions enhance realism. Lights and shadows create depth. Unique or individuality reflects artist's style. Dry media include graphite, charcoal, and pastels. Wet media include pen, ink, watercolor pencils. Smooth paper is suitable for fine detail. Coarse paper enhances texture and contrast. According to Richard Wallum, the nature of art is one of the most elusive problems of human culture. Which of the following is not a way art has been defined? Only as a profitable commodity. Art is not only a profitable commodity, remember. What is art as its simplest? A form of communication. According to Henry James, art involves working in the dark, doing what we can, giving what we have. Leo Tolstoy believes that art's primary purpose is union among men sharing the same feelings. Oscar Wilde defines art as the most intense mode of individualism the world has known. According to Francis Ford Coppola, a key element of art is risk taking to create something new and beautiful. Michelangelo Pistoletto suggests that artists should be involved in all possible activities and sponsor thought. How does art function as a form of communication? By expressing ideas and feelings that everyday word cannot. What is the difference between looking and perceiving in art? Looking is noticing and labeling, perceiving is becoming deeply aware through senses. To understand a work of art, one must train oneself to perceive. Art communicates ideas and feelings to the viewer in terms of intensity and quality. Which statement best illustrates the communicative purpose of art? Understanding that a painting depicts a way of life different from ours. What does the discipline of communication study? How people generate meanings within and across context, cultures, and media. Communication is essential because it is basic human right and essential to social life. Nonverbal communication can include gesture, posture, facial expression, and eye contact. Dance is considered a form of nonverbal communication. What is one personal function of art? Expressing personal feelings and experiences. Edward Munch's painting The Sick Child primarily reflects personal tragedy and family loss. The social function of art include reinforcing shared identity within families or communities. Art created for spiritual purpose often reflects belief about life and a higher power. अच्छा देखिए, मैं सिर्फ़ आपको एमसीक्यूज़ इसलिए रीड करके बता रही हूँ क्योंकि मैं लेक्चर्स में इन सब बातों को इन डिटेल आपको बता चुकी हूँ, ठीक है? तो जस्ट मैं आंसर्स आपको बता रही हूँ ताकि वीडियो जो है वो शॉर्ट रहे क्योंकि एमसीक्यूज़ काफ़ी ज़्यादा हैं। ठीक है जी, आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आ रही हो तो आप इसे लाइक ज़रूर कीजिएगा, चैनल सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलिएगा और इसे अपने फेलो स्टूडेंट्स में और वर्चुअल यूनिवर्सिटी के डिफरेंट ग्रुप्स में ज़रूर शेयर करें ताकि मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट्स जो हैं वो इन एमसीक्यूज़ का फ़ायदा उठा सकें। ठीक है, तो आगे बढ़ते हैं। Physical functions of art include inventing functional objects and combining material creatively. The educational function of art was particularly important in the past because many people could not read, so art conveyed information visually. Viewing art from other times can teach us about historical clothing, lifestyles, and culture. What are the four steps of art history operations? They are description, analysis, interpretation, and judgment. During the description step of art history operations, one should focus on who created the work, when, and where. The analysis step primarily examines the artist's style and association with art movements. Interpretation in art history operations requires researching influences, life details, and surroundings of the artist. The judgment step in art history operations involved determining the artwork's significance in art history. Individual style in art can be compared to handwriting, as no two artists' styles are exactly the same. How is design defined? The use of a skill and imagination to create static objects, environments, or experiences. Which of the following best describes design as self expression? Using visual signs to convey moods, ideas, or emotions. Which statement differentiates art from design? Good art inspires, good design motivates. In terms of talent and skill, art and design differ in that art is a talent and design is a skill. What is a craft? A profession requiring particular skills and knowledge of a skilled work. How does craft differ from art? Craft can be duplicated. Art is seldom and unique. Art moves people emotionally. Craft, on the other hand, attracts people without necessarily invoking emotion. Which of the following is true about art and craft? Art comes from innate talent. Craft is the result of experience. What are considered the basic visual symbols in the language of art? Line, shape, form, space, color, value, texture. The element of line can be considered as linear marks made with pen or brush or edges created when two shapes meet. What does the element direction in art indicate? Horizontal suggests calmness, vertical suggests balance, oblique suggests movement. Which statement about texture is correct? Texture is the surface quality of a shape and can be tactile or visual. The element value in art refers to the lightness or darkness of a color, also called tone. How do elements in art work together in a composition? Elements like line, shape, color, texture combine to create a whole visually read together.
ठीक है जी, तो इसके साथ ही हमारे एमसीक्यूज़ की ये वीडियो यहाँ मुकम्मल होती है। मैं इंशाअल्लाह ताला कोशिश करूँगी कि बाकी सब्जेक्ट के एमसीक्यूज़ भी इसी तरह से प्रिपेयर करके अपलोड कर सकूँ। ठीक है, आप मुझे अपना फीडबैक ज़रूर दीजिएगा। चैनल ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब कर लें ताकि तमाम इम्पोर्टेंट अपडेट्स आप तक टाइमली पहुँचती रहें और मेरे लेक्चर्स को, मेरे वीडियोज़ को अपने फेलो स्टूडेंट्स के साथ वर्चुअल यूनिवर्सिटी के डिफरेंट ग्रुप्स में ज़रूर शेयर करें ताकि मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट इन वीडियो से फ़ायदा हासिल कर सकें। मैं इंशाअल्लाह ताला अपने नेक्स्ट वीडियो के साथ जल्द हाजिर होंगी। तब तक आप सब अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।